DBA Products Company Incorporated is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, but the real story of DBA began when John Piketty Sr. arrived in the United States from his native Italy in 1920. His first job was as a pin boy in a 4-lane basement center that started his lifelong love affair with the sport of bowling. John spent the 1920s and 30s learning the game and becoming an expert player of the times, winning many tournaments and titles while also racking up a few 300 games. In 1940, John built an 8-lane bowling center in Deerfield, Illinois called the Deerfield Bowling Academy. The house balls were engraved with the initials DBA, which became the company name and trademark. World War II came along just as John was getting started, causing incredible shortages of the materials needed for the care of bowling lanes, including the shellac that was used as a lane finish. He immediately began looking for an alternative material and was the first commercial center to use nitrocellulose lacquer on the lanes as a coating. But that only solved one problem. No one knew how to maintain this new type of coating, so John used his extensive knowledge of the game and his own practical abilities and created the first bowling lane conditioner. He experimented for over 3 years until he was satisfied with the performance of the new cleaner and polish, as it was known. It didn't take long for the bowlers to see the difference between the Deerfield lanes and the others in the area, and they began to spread the word about the wonderfully clean and uniform lanes that they enjoyed at the Deerfield Center. Proprietors, first locally, then nationally, started calling John to ask how he worked such miracles on his lanes. John would obligingly send a small amount to anyone who called until sending complimentary samples became more work than running the center. In 1944, the demand by lane owners for some of that DBA stuff became so intense that the decision was made to sell the bowling center and start manufacturing and distributing lane conditioner on a full-time basis. The company name was already there. It simply became DBA Products Company Incorporated. At first, manufacturing was done behind the lanes and then was moved to the family garage. Old Coca-Cola syrup bottles were used as containers since cans were not available during the war. This container of original DBA conditioner now resides in the National Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum. DBA's first product, DBA Bowling Lane Cleaner and Polish number 501, became an immediate success. But John Piketty's knowledge of the game and its ever-changing conditions brought about the introduction soon after of DBA number 511. These two products are still mainstays in the complete line of maintenance materials provided by the company. In 1945, the business was moved into a 2-stall auto service station and many new products were added, including bowling ball cleaner, pin coatings, and pin cleaning chemicals. John did the selling, his wife Laura did the advertising and office work, and their 2 sons did the filling and shipment of orders. Many of John's bowling friends, including Ned Day, Andy Verapapa, Hank Marino, Joe Christoff, and others, endorsed the company's products and spread the word about DBA to center owners everywhere. Steady growth required even larger quarters. A brand new building was erected at 747 Deerfield Road in 1949 that boasted 2,500 square feet of office and manufacturing space that was planned to be large enough to accommodate DBA no matter how much more it were to grow. Yet more items were introduced, including lane finishes, printing chemicals, car wash, and golf ball cleaners. It was during this period of time that DBA began its custom of introducing both new and innovative products for the industry. This included 2 new items in the coatings field, the first ever ready mixed approach finish and the first base or primer coat for lane finishes. DBA, although small, recognized that research and development of new products were the key to growth and therefore allocated a large portion of their assets to create new, meaningful processes for the bowling industry. The Deerfield Road facility, even with an addition, soon became too small to handle the expansion of the company. Another brand new state-of-the-art chemical plant was built at 350 County Line Road in Deerfield and occupied in 1957. With 12,500 square feet, it was expected to last for years. But new products and new markets were on the horizon. DBA began promoting its products internationally and also introduced more new items such as the first automatic bowling pin cleaner, the first lane cleaning chemical specifically for bowling, plus rental shoe disinfectant and shoe polish. In 1959, the second generation of the Piketty family took over after the untimely passing of John Piketty Sr. The love of bowling had been instilled in John's family, so the company just kept growing and providing the best of products to the sport. DBA scored another first when it introduced the first automatic lane maintenance machine in 1960, which finally gave proprietors an efficient, inexpensive, uniform way to condition their lanes. The DBA Lane Master was the first unit of its kind to bring technology to the art of lane conditioning and cleaning. To better serve the needs of the market, DBA entered the lane resurfacing and construction business in 1961. This helped DBA learn the technical and practical aspects of lane refinishing to better serve the needs of the customers. From the experience gained in the resurfacing business, many new products were provided to the industry, including adjust approach leveling devices, state-of-the-art lane coating equipment, and new types of lane finishes, including fire-safe urethane coatings and another DBA innovation, the first ever water-based lane finish. In 1963, DBA entered the consumer products field with the introduction of DBA Pro Plug 3-to-1 bowling ball plugging compound that rapidly replaced old-fashioned ball repair materials. Although busy with the growth of bowling, DBA entered the contract packaging field in 1964 to take advantage of its technical staff and facilities. DBA provided packaging services for such varied customers as 3M, Sears, W.T. Grant, SCM, Woolworths, Coleman Company, and many others. A very important defense contract for the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War was the packaging of multi-range lubricants for high-performance jet fighters, which required incredibly high security standards. As this part of the business grew, the need for even larger quarters was required, so DBA moved out of Deerfield after 23 years and in 1967 built a new 25,000 square foot facility on 5 acres of land in Lake Bluff, Illinois. Since that time, the building has grown to 55,000 square feet with another large addition in the planning stages. The packaging business was spun off in 1971 because of space requirements for the ever-growing bowling business. In 1972, DBA introduced the DBA 100 lane maintenance machine and, working with the Professional Bowlers Association, developed and marketed the DBA Lane Analyzer, the first ever method of qualifying the amount and placement of lane conditioner on a lane surface. Another new and novel piece of lane conditioning equipment created during that time was the DBA Lane Runner. DBA also continued to grow overseas, opening plants and offices in Canada, England, and Belgium, and greatly increasing its presence in the Pacific Rim from Japan to Australia. DBA didn't only depend on new products for growth, it actively pursued acquisitions both in and out of the game of bowling. Over the years, DBA has acquired the Easy Grip Company of Denver, Colorado, Ott Packaging Corporation of Skokie, Illinois, and Pines Recreation Services of Geneva, Illinois, manufacturers of Red Edge lane cloth. The ProGrip division of St. Louis, Missouri, the Claro Corporation of South Bend, Indiana, American Synthetics, and many others were also acquired. But new products were still the main path for growth at DBA. All types of products, including cleaners, coatings, bowlers' accessories, lane injection machines and compounds, ball cleaning machines, lockers, and hundreds of other items. In 1976, DBA stunned the bowling industry with the introduction of the first synthetic bowling surface known as Permalane in partnership with the General Electric Corporation. DBA installed thousands of beds of Permalane around the world. However, not all DBA introductions of products were successful, as demonstrated by products such as Slicks, Adjust-A-Grip, Sparetronics, and a few more clunkers. But these few missteps were more than made up for by the DBA Lane Shark vacuum lane cleaning machine, followed by one of the most successful and important products introduced to bowling by DBA, the DBA Glancer program, the product that launched bumper bowling. DBA never rested on its laurels, but continued to create, innovate, improve, invent, and introduce new and better materials for the industry. DBA has been a leader in the development of 100% solids coatings, the environmentally safe type lane finishes, and has led the industry with its line of environmentally friendly lane conditioners and cleaners. Not content with all of its achievements, DBA scored again in 1991 with the introduction of the first computer-operated self-indexing lane machine, the DBA Lane Walker, the most accurate, dependable lane maintenance machine ever made. Not only does it condition the lane with extreme accuracy, it moves from lane to lane on its own, allowing center personnel the time to perform other important maintenance tasks. Following closely upon the heels of the DBA Lane Walker was the DBA LCM, the lane walking vacuum lane cleaning machine. State-of-the-art lane maintenance reached another high with the addition of the DBA Excel lane conditioning machine in 1993. The bowler hasn't been forgotten by DBA's Pro Grip division, which provides such items as blazing color grips, rosin bags, grip products, accessory tape, and yet another new and exciting product from DBA, the Pro Grip Air Shot, the only air support system designed specifically for bowling. 50 years is a long time, but DBA doesn't look backwards. Under the leadership of the third generation of the Piketty family, DBA is looking forward to the next 50 years and all of the new challenges that are to be found and the new products yet to be developed. DBA's first 50 years is just the beginning. It is the continuation of a dream by an immigrant young man and his wife who love bowling, their country, and their family. DBA is the American dream.